Welcome back, everybody. It's Dave,
Pat, and Maury from the Erie Better Beer Bureau.
We're going to be reviewing a couple Weyerbacher sours for Sour Saturday today. We got the Riserva 2011 and then the Weyerbacher Sour Black, which is a brewery only.
So Sour Saturday, we're going to try out two of these Weyerbacher's, and we're going to drink the Sour Black first.
Pour it up.
All right. These are both cork and cages out of Weyerbacher, which anything with a cork, you think it'd be awesome.
Pop it.
Watch where you point that thing.
Hey, oh. All right. Definitely, it's pitch black.
Yeah,
Really.
You can see a little brown through it if you hold it up to the light, though. Nice kind of mocha colored head.
Real good. Real funky smell to it.
Yeah,
Roasty
definitely
and funky.
Like sour cherries and
A little bit of a brown sugar smell
Yeah.
to it, too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of raisin.
Just give this baby a try.
Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.
Wow. Pucker up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not short on the sour.
No, that's a
Definitely
solid
not.
That
sour.
is real nice.
Not overwhelming, though,
It's actually perfect, is what you want. You got that pucker factor, but it's got a little sweetness to it as well.
On the back end there.
Right.
And it doesn't taste nearly as carbonated as it
As it
seems.
looks,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
No, I was expecting, champagne
Yeah, I'm
is
not
what I was
getting
expecting.
really a lot of carbonation out of it at all.
I like how there's nice malty base underneath all that sourness.
Yeah,
Helps balance
and
it out.
it's lightweight. For how you get all that dark fruit smell out of there,
Right.
that raisin smell. You don't really get a whole lot of that in the flavor.
Right, and as sour as it is when you first sip it, it doesn't really linger a lot. Like
No.
it kind of cleans
It's
up,
there.
you know what I mean?
Fades right away.
For as dark and as rich as it pours, it's surprisingly light on the mouth.
Yeah.
And I think that this one here is a little lower in alcohol too. I don't even know if it is quite 6%. I think I saw somewhere that's like 5.6 or 5.8. So
That might explain how it's going down so
right, yeah, and a lot of sours are low in carbonation. That's
Mhm.
not the case with Riserva over here. I think it's 11.1 or 11.2. But this one definitely is easy to drink.
You're
I
right.
feel.
Yeah, for sure. Real great beer
Especially
coming
for
out
a
of
sour.
Weyerbacher. This is going down real easy. And I almost want to say I taste like, I don't know if is this any barrel aged or any wood? Because I'm almost getting a little bit of an oak flavor in
Yeah.
The very end of it, yeah. a little bit of
You know, I would guess that it is. I know that the Riserva sits in some barrels. It says, aged in oak barrels
Yeah.
with the raspberry puree. I wouldn't doubt for a second. Most sours are, but not all of them are. Sometimes they'll just add some Brett straight to the bottle. So,
I would go out on a limb and guess this one.
yeah,
wasn't
no,
Springs.
I
you
would,
can,
I would think so.
you can get it going with just a little stir too.
It's pretty lively going down, too.
Yeah.
You get some fizz going down the throat.
Yeah, it does kind of
Yeah.
re-agitate itself on the way down. Definitely a good beer, though.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not. So as someone not as a big fan of sours, this one's very easy to drink. And
Yeah.
It's rather enjoyable.
And we're shifting gears. Pat and I were drinking some Stingy Jack pumpkin ale last night.
Yeah, I
Some
wish
taste
I
of
could have
fine
made
beer.
it. I wish I could have made it
Yeah,
down
it's
there
a
for
shame
that.
we didn't.
Yeah, hey man. But so it was pretty good then. Was it packed downtown or
It
what?
was. It was real packed.
It was comfortably packed. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been in there before where you can't walk. Basically, you can't get anywhere in there. It was just busy enough that all the space that people could be at were at, but there was still plenty of room to move around too.
And after all, it was Firkin Friday,
Yeah.
the day before Sour Saturday. So.
We're talking about You Pick 6 Tap House, downtown Erie, Pennsylvania here.
It's a local spot. They got a great tap selection, and there was a Firkin of Stingy Jack by Lavery Brewing. He had aged a bunch of it with vanilla beans and some bourbon oak chips, and it turned out
And
spectacular.
Lavery's kind of a new and up-and-coming brewery here in Erie, making some really, really good beers.
Yeah.
And so if there is any special, tappings or anything, it usually happens at You Pick 6 downtown here.
And speaking of PA, Weyerbacher, a few hours away from us. But you know, I mean, they're at a level now where they're even able to do some of this experimental stuff and really put these sours out there, which I have to say I don't see a lot of them around.
No.
You know, and we're pretty lucky to get these two here.
Absolutely, and you know, say what you want about Weyerbacher. Maybe, you know, in some people's opinions, they don't measure up to some of the people doing the barrel aging and the sours on the West Coast, but at least they're experimenting, which is more than we could say for a lot of the other breweries over here. And I think this is a pretty solid beer. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've had some good sours, and yeah, this one's, it's one that I'm not, you know, regretting not getting here. It's a real good ale.
Pretty distinctive, actually. I like it. Some flavor I don't usually get in other sours.
Right. So, Maury, what's your score here? What are you thinking?
For me, on the sour black, I'm going to go a solid 4 out of 5. I mean, it is. I think there's nothing. The acidity is not too high. You get a bit of like a little dark fruits and a little bit of roastiness from the darker malts in this one. I would say my only criticism of it, and so the only thing that would keep me from rating it just a little bit higher, would be the fact that it's a little bit like it's not super complex.
Right.
That's my only criticism of it, really. But I still think it's a super.
And
solid
I think
beer.
that's in taste only. The aroma, I think you get, it's real complex. You get a lot out of it. You know, the taste though doesn't back up the aroma. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.75 to even a 4. You know, if we're gonna break it down a little more, but I think it's a solid sour, a little bit one-dimensional on the taste, but the aroma is fantastic, and I really thought that had some really solid carbonation too.
I'm gonna go with a 4 on this one. Even as a person not a fan of sours, I think it's done pretty well for a sour. It's enjoyable. You can drink it. It goes down easy.
Yeah, it was easy to drink.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a short glass there. That was a short glass.
I'm gonna drink a little yeast here, I think. I mean,
Call you Brett. Is that the funk coming out of the bottle?
all right, guys.
Cheers.
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 Drink this up. That is a nice sour flavor there.
Really nice.
Wow.
And you can't taste the 11% really at all. Like,
No.
There's a little something there, like a warmth that tells you it's a bigger beer than the sour black, but
You can tell going down there's a little something to it.
Yeah,
but
that's
you
what I
can't really
mean.
taste it.
Yeah. I mean, in the sour, it'll kick your head back that first sip.
I like it a lot.
Real similar carbonation to this one, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe a little bit lower, a notch lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a notch lower. But
The beer overall, I feel, is a few notches higher, though.
yeah,
It's a real deep, complex flavor to this one.
I like this one a little better myself. I mean, I like the sour black a lot, but this one definitely has a little bit more going on, I feel.
Yeah. Nice oak. Smooth. It's got that raspberry bite to it. I mean, in this one, there's no doubt, even if it wasn't printed on the bottle, there's no doubt this was aged in oak barrels.
Absolutely. I can taste this one. You know, it's very, very obvious that it is. And it's. I like this beer a lot. I like it just as much as when we had it the other night.
Yeah, if not better. I feel that I'm on a little cleaner palate. I can really appreciate how complex. I mean, we'll be honest, the first time we drank this, we were at a homebrew festival, so we'll just say we weren't working with the freshest palate.
Yeah, no, that's probably true.
Well, there is a good strong raspberry taste to it. There's almost like a fruit salad or other fruit flavors right underneath it.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like a pineapple taste right underneath the raspberry.
Yeah, and you know, even though it was just raspberries, it's just such a rich flavor overall. It's not one, by no means is this a one-dimensional beer.
No.
And it's definitely, with each sip, I feel it warming me just a little bit more. You know what I mean?
You become a little more aware of the 11%.
Well, and with each sip, the sourness is less noticeable too. You're kind of acclimating to the sourness. It's still there, but it's not. It doesn't affect your taste as much.
Absolutely, this is a solid beer. I mean, we've had some pretty good sours. You know what I mean? I mean, I wouldn't call myself, you know, a sour expert by any stretch, but I mean, this one ranks up there with some of the better ones I've had.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
You know, Pat and I, what was it, a couple weeks ago, we drank the Brooks, and that was definitely a really solid beer. And I'm sure that it's going to get better with some age. But right now, I mean, I'd have to tip it to this one. I mean, you know what I mean? I like this Riserva.
Yeah, probably, one of the better sours I've had. Yeah, so don't rule Weyerbacher out when it comes to sours. I guess that's the lesson right here.
Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty pricey bottle at $18.99, but it's
But
a
you
limited
get a
beer.
You get a $19 beer here.
Right.
I feel like you're not
And
being
it's
shortchanged.
it's a 750 too. This
Right.
isn't a bomber. It's a 750 milliliter bottle, and they put some work into it.
Right.
Adding different ingredients and aging it in the oak barrels. I mean, it's a good beer.
Yeah, and I mean, watch your pour. I mean, it's a chunky beer too.
Yeah, there's a lot of sediment in it, but
there's-
hey,
It just adds,
Yeah.
it's a little hair on your chest.
protein. Absolutely. I still can't get over the color of this head, dude. It's kind of like a light peach color.
Yeah. Definitely all around unique. I feel that's definitely a unique tasting brew.
Now that I gave it a swirl and smelled it, I'm getting a little bit of like a nail polish remover.
Yeah. I mean, there is
A little bit of an acetone taste.
Take a
Great.
big.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real. You do get a real kind of chemical, acidic smell to it.
Yeah.
I didn't get
and
it
it's
the first
funky.
time. It's
I
the
mean,
second
it's just.
I wasn't getting it at first either.
Mm-mm.
But I'm not getting it in the taste. To me, I'm getting
No.
raspberry, oak, and some nice tart,
Yeah.
tartness.
Real
but
tart.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, this thing's. If you pucker when you take that sip,
Absolutely. And I mean, again, I'm going to say it again. The alcohol is really covered up. Like, I mean, you get the warmth, and you can tell as we're downing this thing that it's definitely up there, but I don't taste it.
No.
You know what I mean?
You get a little warm. You're aware it's a higher end beer, but yeah, nothing where you're bouncing back saying, "Hey, this alcohol is too much."
No booziness.
Right.
No. I mean, this one here, I'm going to go 4.25 on this one. I like it better than I like the Sour Black. I thought they were both super solid beers, but this one's just a little bit more complex and, a little bit more warming. I like the raspberry fruit flavor, so I'm going 4.25.
Yeah, I agree. I'm doing the same. 4.25, 4 1/4. It's just that complexity is what makes this thing.
Yeah,
it takes it to the next level.
There's a little more
versus the
going
other
on.
one, Yeah. It also, I do like the addition of raspberries. I'll be honest. At first, I usually wasn't big into fruit beers, but this really, the raspberry makes this beer. That fruity flavor adds that complexity to it, and it just sounds like a guy taking a whiz next to you. Honestly, is what adds to the extra
Right
funk
next to the
in the
pint,
glass.
yeah. I'm going to go ahead and give this beer a 4.5. I think it's great. The complex taste. You got the flavors in your face, and then the flavors underneath, and it's one of the best sours I've had in recent memory. I
You
think.
might have just talked me into 4.5.
I'm holding my tongue. 4 1/4. I'm staying there. I'm staying right there.
Hey, this is Pat from the Erie Better Beer Bureau. For news, reviews, and local Erie craft beer information, visit us at eriebetterbeer.com or follow us on Twitter at eriebetterbeer.